Hey, since the heat index is going to be higher than 95 degrees, I mean, we're telling you it's going to be very, very hot. Operation White Flag is now in effect, and that means that anyone experiencing homelessness can stay inside one of the shelters listed on your screen as long as it stays this hot. Wayside Christian Mission on Jefferson Street and the Salvation Army Center of Hope on South Brook are open to anyone, while the St. Vincent de Paul on South Jackson Street is open only for men. Right now, JCPS is making changes as well to try to protect their students from the heat.
One of the big worries is always outdoor sports, so the district is asking schools to move practice times this week. Check this out. You could actually see heat waves coming off of the turf of one of the football fields yesterday. This is just one of several sports encouraged to make adjustments this week, which we're told could impact thousands of students. Dr. April Brooks, director of athletics for the district, says schools have the flexibility to move practices to earlier in the morning or later in the evening when the sun starts to set. Because the turf fields can get so hot, Dr. Brooks said the district is putting in an extra feature to keep it from melting cleats or harming kids.
Our fields can get pretty hot and melt cleats and things like that, so we did the extra expense of adding the cooling beads in. As it gets heightened, we will look at lowering practices from 2 hours to 1 hour because we know that heat temperatures can fluctuate, and so it's not something that's just set in stone. And we know if we go across town, the heat may be different from one high school to another. So they're actually monitoring that on site.
Dr. Brooks asked parents to make sure their kids are eating and hydrating at home before practice. There is also the possibility of football games being pushed back on Friday night. We'll keep an eye out for that.
There are dozens of locations across the metro that act as cooling centers, and this includes 8 neighborhood place locations, 14 Metro Parks and Recreation Community Centers, and 16 Louisville Free Public Library sites. You can find a full list of cooling centers in this story in the WHAS11 News app. That's also where we'll send you updates on the extreme heat during the next few alert days.
This morning, officials are working to determine what caused this fire at a building in Portland, left it badly damaged. Louisville Fire says it broke out around 7 last night in the 2600 block of Portland Avenue. That's just off the interstate near LaPorte Park. We're told it took more than an hour to get it under control, and the 2-story building partially collapsed. Firefighters even had to turn off power on the street, impacting folks living in the area.
It's not a happy occasion, it's sort of a mourning thing because we all love these old buildings and we love this community because of these old buildings, among many other reasons. But yeah, I'm just sort of like, my house is going to be hot because there's no power, so I thought I would stay outside. There's a little bit of a breeze, hang out for a bit, see my friends.
Fire happened near one of Louisville's oldest family-owned businesses, the Shaheen's Department Store, which was established in 1922. LFD said it's too early to tell how far the damage spread and if that building was impacted.
Louisville Fire is also looking into what caused this fire on Haywood Avenue, just a couple of blocks away from Churchill Downs. Captain Donovan Sims says crews responded around 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Everyone who was inside when the fire started was able to make it out. No injuries were reported.
The debate about whether or not JCPS should be split up has been one of the main topics of discussion among members of the state's new task force. Last night, it came to West Louisville to hear from people here in the metro. WHAS11's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie talked to one student concerned about the district's future.
The idea of having a division within JCPS sparks fear as well as curiosity.
Among a crowd of many, Ava Williams expressed to the JCPS task force that a split of Jefferson County Public Schools would affect her and other students academically.
Like, wait, my last year of school in JCPS, I might have to go somewhere else.
Williams is a junior at Central High School. In the past, Williams said she's heard JCPS Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio publicly share his concern about the district dividing. So she decided to attend the first JCPS Task Force Community Input meeting.
I mean, it makes sense. It does seem like that's kind of their agenda. So that did spark that idea in my mind.
Dozens of JCPS students, staff, parents, and community leaders shared their input to the task force. Many expressed concerns about dividing the district into smaller parts.
United we stand, divided we fall.
There's no reason to split anything. It's about bringing together.
We asked Republican Kentucky Senator Lindsey Tishner if the task force is thinking about dividing the district.
I couldn't say if it's on the table or not on the table, but we're looking at everything.
Longtime Kentucky Senator Gerald Neal, a Democrat, is a member on the task force. He says it raises questions about legitimacy.
They should be here asking for recommendations, not coming as a structure that says, here's what we're going to do based upon how we interpret what you say.
Williams and others left with many unanswered questions, but hopes this feedback can help the board make the right decisions.
Now I can only hope that they listen to us and they take what we said into consideration.
In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS11 on your side.
The task force is expected to make a final report in December. The next community input meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, September 10th at Male High School.
And today, the future of residents over at Dosker Manor's housing complex will be discussed by a Metro Council committee. That's according to the Equity, Community Affairs and Housing agenda. It was just a few weeks ago that residents started moving out of Dosker Manor following concerns over living conditions. City is also planning to demolish that building. We'll bring you more details after the meeting, which is scheduled for 1:30 this afternoon.